In a time long before NASA set its sights on Venus, the Russian space program was already making groundbreaking strides. While their government chose to keep these missions shrouded in secrecy, the veil has finally been lifted. Thanks to the Venera missions, also known as the Venus missions, we now have access to a treasure trove of previously classified images and findings about our enigmatic neighbor in the solar system. These missions were meticulously crafted to unravel the mysteries of Venus, and their significance in space exploration cannot be overstated. What is Venera? The Venera program, named after the Russian word for Venus, Venera, was a series of space probes developed by the Soviet Union between 1961 and 1984. Their mission was to unlock the secrets of the enigmatic planet Venus. Venus, often called Earth's sister planet, is a mysterious world with extreme conditions. It's scorching hot, with surface temperatures soaring up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Imagine trying to send a probe there. Sounds impossible. Well, not for the Venera program. The Venera program achieved some truly groundbreaking milestones in space exploration. First off, Venera 3, back on March 1, 1966, became the pioneer, becoming the very first human-made object to enter the atmosphere of another planet. Then, just a few years later, Venera 7, on December 15, 1970, made history by executing the first-ever soft landing on another planet. Venera 9, on June 8, 1975, was the first to send back images from the surface of Venus. These images gave us a glimpse into a world that's vastly different from our own, and Venera 13, on October 30, 1981, became the first to capture sounds from another planet. Finally, in June 2, 1983, Venera 15 set yet another milestone by performing high-resolution radar mapping scans of Venus. These scans provided us with detailed maps of the planet's surface. It's important to note that all of these accomplishments didn't come easy. Venus is an incredibly harsh environment. The probes had to endure scorching temperatures, crushing atmospheric pressure, and acidic clouds. Despite these challenges, the Venera program showed us that with ingenuity, determination, and some seriously impressive engineering, we can explore even the most extreme corners of our solar system. Let's embark on a journey through the captivating history of the Venera programs as we delve into each mission, unveiling the remarkable tales of Soviet exploration on Venus, where scorching temperatures and mysterious clouds concealed the secrets of our neighboring planet. Venera 1. Venera 1 marked a significant milestone as the first spacecraft to embark on an interplanetary journey, all thanks to the visionary minds at the Soviet Union's Venera program. Launched in February 1961, this spacecraft was on a mission to explore the enigmatic Venus. Just a few months after its sister ship's unsuccessful attempt, Venera 1 VA No. 1, Soviet experts launched Venera 1 using a powerful Molniya carrier rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The historic moment took place at 00:34:36 GMT on 12 February 1961. The journey began with Venera 1 and its companion, the Block L upper stage, being placed into a low Earth orbit. From there, the upper stage fired, propelling Venera 1 into a heliocentric orbit, pointing it towards Venus. This stage of the mission was a technological marvel, showcasing the first staged combustion cycle rocket engine and pioneering the use of an ullage engine to initiate a liquid fuel rocket engine in space. Venera 1 wasn't just a spacefarer, it was a scientific marvel. It conducted 3 successful telemetry sessions, gathering crucial data about solar wind and cosmic ray activity. These sessions took place near Earth, at the Earth's magnetopause, and at distance of $1,900,000 kilometers, $200,000 mi, from our home planet. One of the most significant contributions of Venera 1 was the confirmation of the presence of solar wind in deep space, following the groundbreaking discovery made by Luna 2. This finding was a crucial puzzle piece in our understanding of the cosmos. Sadly, the mission faced a setback. 7 days after its rendezvous with Venus on May 19, 1961, radio contact with Venera 1 was lost. Despite efforts, the scheduled telemetry session failed to occur, leaving scientists puzzled about the fate of the spacecraft. It's believed that the overheating of a solar direction sensor may have been the culprit behind Venera 1's unfortunate end. Nevertheless, its legacy lives on, as it laid the foundation for future interplanetary missions. Venera 2 took off on November 12, 1965, riding a powerful Molniya carrier rocket from Site 31-6 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. It was a crucial part of the Venera program, designed to explore Venus up close. After launch, the spacecraft was set on a course toward Venus, orbiting the Sun. It had a perihelion of 0.716 astronomical units and an aphelion of 1.197 AU with an orbital period of 341 days. Venera 2 was loaded with an array of instruments, including cameras, a magnetometer, and detectors for solar and cosmic X-rays. It even had ion traps and a Geiger counter to measure radiation. The spacecraft made its closest pass by Venus on February 27, 1966, coming within just 23,010 kilometers, 14,790 miles, of the planet's surface. During this flyby, all of Venera 2's instruments were active, which meant that radio communication with Earth had to be temporarily suspended. The plan was to record data on board and transmit it back. Once contact was reestablished, unfortunately, things took an unexpected turn. The spacecraft encountered a radiator malfunction, causing it to overheat. Tragically, Venera 2 was declared lost on March 4, 1966. Venera 3-6. So, what were the Venera 3-6 probes all about? Well, they were similar in design, each weighing approximately 1 ton, and launched by the powerful Molniya-type booster rocket. These spacecraft were composed of 2 essential parts: the cruise bus and a spherical atmospheric entry probe. The primary objective of these probes was to gather vital atmospheric data from Venus. They weren't equipped with any fancy landing apparatus. The hope was that they'd reach the surface intact, but things didn't exactly go as planned. On March 1, 1966, Venera 3 made history by becoming the first human-made object to impact another planet's surface. However, it was a crash landing. The data probes on board failed upon atmospheric entry, so we couldn't retrieve any information from within Venus's atmosphere. Fast forward to October 18, 1967, and Venera 4 swoops in as our hero. It became the first spacecraft ever to measure the atmosphere of another planet, and it discovered that the major gas in Venus's atmosphere is CO2. Initially, the Soviets claimed that Venera 4 reached the surface intact. Later analysis, including data from the American Mariner 5 spacecraft that passed by Venus, revealed something mind-blowing. Venus's surface pressure was 75,100 atmospheres, way higher than Venera 4's 25 atma hull strength. The initial claim had to be retracted. Venus is a tough nut to crack. Realizing that their spacecraft wouldn't survive the crushing Venusian conditions, the Soviets came up with a clever plan. They launched Venera 5 and Venera 6 as atmospheric probes. These little guys were designed to jettison nearly half their payload before entering the planet's atmosphere. As these brave probes descended, they managed to record precious data for 53 and 51 minutes, respectively, before their batteries called it quits. Talk about making the most of their mission. It's worth noting that during this era, scientists were still considering the possibility of Venus having liquid bodies of water. Imagine that! Science is a journey of discovery, after all. Venera 7. Venera 7, launched in August 1970, was a true pioneer in space exploration. Unlike its predecessors, it was specially designed to survive the harsh conditions of Venus's surface and make a soft landing. This wasn't an easy task, let me tell you. The spacecraft was massively overbuilt to ensure its survival. You see, Venus is no walk in the park. With surface temperatures reaching a blistering 465 degrees Celsius, 869 degrees Fahrenheit, and an atmospheric pressure a staggering 90 times that of Earth's Venera 7, had to be tough as nails. Venera 7 faced a technical hiccup. An internal switchboard failure left it stuck in the transmit temperature position. This meant that it couldn't conduct many experiments as originally planned. Despite this setback, the mission still managed to provide crucial insights into Venus. Of its key achievements was extrapolating the incredible surface pressure of 90 atmospheres from temperature data. It was the very first time we had direct measurements from Venus's surface. Venera 7's Doppler measurements unveiled a stunning revelation about Venus: the existence of zonal winds with speeds of up to 100 meters per second, 330 feet per second, 362 kilometers per hour, or 225 miles per hour, in its atmosphere. This phenomenon is known as superrotation, and it was a groundbreaking discovery. Venera 7 wasn't just about pressure and temperature, it also told us about Venus's atmospheric composition. This was another piece of the puzzle in understanding our neighboring planet. Just before landing, its parachute failed, and it hit the Venusian surface at 17 meters per second, 56 feet per second. It toppled over, causing antenna misalignment, which made its radio signal extremely weak. Venera 7's signal was detected for an additional 23 minutes after landing. This may not sound like much, but it made history. On December 15, 1970, Venera 7 became the first human-made probe to transmit data from the surface of Venus. It was a monumental achievement in the realm of space exploration. Venera 8. Venera 8 was more than just a lander. It was a Venus atmospheric probe with a suite of scientific instruments. Among these instruments were temperature sensors, pressure sensors, and light sensors. It also carried an altimeter, a gamma-ray spectrometer, a gas analyzer, and radio transmitters. These tools were crucial for collecting data and transmitting it back to Earth. The journey of Venera 8 to Venus was no small feat. It took a whopping 118 days to reach our scorching neighbor. Along the way, there was one mid-course correction on April 6, 1972. Upon reaching Venus, Venera 8 separated from its bus, which contained additional instruments like a cosmic ray detector, a solar wind detector, and an ultraviolet spectrometer. Venera 8 had to endure extreme heat and pressure as it entered Venus's atmosphere on July 22, 1972, at 08:37 UT. To withstand these harsh conditions, a refrigeration system was attached to the bus, pre-chilling the descent capsule's interior. This ingenious move helped extend its lifespan on the Venusian surface. The capsule's descent speed was incredibly reduced from a staggering 41,696 kilometers per hour to just about 900 kilometers per hour thanks to aerobraking. At an altitude of 60 kilometers, the 2.5-meter diameter parachute heroically opened, ensuring a controlled descent. During the nail-biting descent, Venera 8 transmitted vital data back to Earth. As it descended, there was a noticeable drop in illumination at 35 to 30 kilometers above the surface, and the wind speeds were less than 1 meter per second below 10 kilometers. Finally, at 09:32 UT, Venera 8 touched down in an area now known as Vasilisa Regio. It landed within 150 kilometers of coordinates 10.7 indices, 335.25 degrees in the brilliant Venusian sunlight at approximately 500 kilometers from the morning terminator. The lander itself weighed 495 kilograms. Despite the incredibly harsh conditions, the lander continued to send back valuable data for 50 minutes and 11 seconds after landing. It provided further confirmation of what its predecessor, Venera 7, had discovered. The scorching surface temperature on Venus, a blistering 470 degrees Celsius, and an atmospheric pressure equivalent to 90 Earth atmospheres. Venera 8 also gave us insights into the lighting conditions on Venus, revealing that they were suitable for surface photography. In fact, it was similar to the lighting you might experience on Earth on an overcast day with roughly 1 kilometer of visibility. Additionally, Venera 8's photometer measurements provided a groundbreaking revelation. They showed for the first time that Venusian clouds extended to high altitudes. Moreover, the atmosphere was relatively clear from there down to the surface. This was a crucial discovery for our understanding of Venus's complex atmosphere. Finally, the onboard gamma-ray spectrometer analyzed the composition of the surface rock, revealing that it was similar to alkali basalt. This data helped scientists piece together the puzzle of Venus's geology. Venera 9 to 12. After the setback with the Cosmos 482 mission, the Venera 9 and 10 probes in 1975, followed by the Venera 11 and 12 probes in 1978, took a different approach. These beasts weighed around 5 tons and were powered by the mighty proton booster, ensuring a robust journey. What set these probes apart was their multi-part architecture. They featured a transfer and relay bus equipped with engines, crucial for making the critical maneuver to enter Venus's orbit. This bus also played a pivotal role as a receiver and relay for the entry probe's transmissions. Speaking of the entry probe, it was securely attached to the top of the bus, shielded by a spherical heat shield. The engineers had their work cut out for them, as these probes were optimized for surface operations. Imagine a spherical compartment enveloping the electronics, bravely facing the atmospheric pressure and heat for as long as possible. Below this, a nifty shock-absorbing crush ring was in place, ensuring a smooth landing. Above the pressure sphere, there sat a cylindrical antenna structure and a wide, dish-shaped contraption, which, while resembling an antenna, was actually an aerobrake aiding in the descent. The mission objective was to operate on the Venusian surface for a minimum of 30 minutes. Equipped with an array of instruments, these landers were loaded with cameras and cutting-edge equipment for analyzing the atmosphere and soil. However, here's the kicker. All 4 landers encountered a hiccup. Some or all of their camera lens caps refused to release as planned. Venera 9, the Trailblazer, valiantly operated for at least 53 minutes, managing to capture awe-inspiring images despite one of its 2 cameras facing a stubborn lens cap. Venera 10 followed suit, pushing the boundaries and lasting for at least 65 minutes, with one camera delivering stunning visuals while the other grappled with a reluctant lens cap. Venera 11, a trooper in its own right, endured for at least 95 minutes, but unfortunately, neither of its cameras could break free from their caps. Venera 12 showed remarkable resilience, thriving for a whopping 110 minutes. Yet similar to its predecessor, neither of its cameras managed to shed their protective covers. Venera 13 and 14. The Venera 13 and 14 missions to Venus, which took place back in 1981 and 1982. These missions were crucial in expanding our understanding of the enigmatic Venusian surface. Both Venera 13 and 14 were equipped with a descent craft and a flyby spacecraft. The descent craft held a treasure trove of instruments and electronics, while the flyby spacecraft acted as a communications relay. This design was reminiscent of the earlier Venera 9 to 12 landers. Once they touched down on Venus, they got to work. They were armed with cameras to capture images, a microphone to capture sounds, a drill and surface sampler to collect soil samples, and even a seismometer to study any potential seismic activity. They also had instruments to record electric discharges during their descent through Venus's atmosphere, a truly remarkable feat. Interestingly, these 2 descent craft landed about 950 kilometers apart, just east of an elevated region known as Phoebe Regio. Venera 13 surpassed expectations, soldiering on for an astounding 127 minutes, while Venera 14 held strong for 57 minutes, despite the initial design life being a mere 32 minutes. Venera 14 had a bit of bad luck. It accidentally ejected its camera lens cap right under the surface compressibility tester arm. As a result, it provided information about the compressibility of the lens cap instead of the surface itself. These descent vehicles transmitted invaluable data to the buses, which played a pivotal role as data relays while they zoomed past Venus. This relay system ensured that we received a stream of vital information, giving us a clearer picture of this mysterious neighboring planet. Venera 15 and 16. Unlike their predecessors, Venera 15 and 16 were outfitted with cutting-edge surface imaging radar equipment to pierce through the dense shroud-like cloud cover of Venus. This radar system was a game changer. It operated for an extensive 8 months, capturing images with astonishing detail, revealing the surface at resolutions between 1 to 2 kilometers, or roughly 0.6 to 1.2 miles. When switched to radio altimeter mode, the antenna's magic happened. It transmitted and received signals using an 8-centimeter wavelength, bouncing them off Venus's surface in just 0.67 milliseconds. The culmination of this effort was a detailed map showcasing the reflectivity distribution across the Venusian northern hemisphere. Imagine linear distance measurements spanning from 91 to 182 kilometers, painting a vivid picture of this alien terrain. Operating in near-polar elliptical orbits, these twin spacecraft accomplished a monumental feat. By the end of their main mission, they had successfully charted the top half of the northern atmosphere, a staggering 115 million square kilometers or 71 million square miles. An altimeter on board provided invaluable topographical data, achieving a height resolution of 50 meters, or approximately 164 feet. This data was akin to creating a 3D model of Venus's surface, allowing scientists to understand the elevations and contours in unprecedented detail. As if that wasn't enough, an instrument from East Germany took the reins in mapping surface temperature variations. This added yet another layer to our understanding of Venus, shedding light on the dynamic nature of its climate. Let's take a stroll through the discoveries made by the Venera programs. Scientific findings. The incredible scientific revelations brought to us by the Venera missions. These probes played a crucial role in expanding our knowledge about Venus, our mysterious sister planet. Venera 4, a trailblazer in this mission series, provided a groundbreaking revelation. It unveiled that carbon dioxide, or CO2, dominates Venus's atmosphere. This was a pivotal moment, shaping our understanding of the planet's atmospheric composition. Moving on, Venera 7 stepped up to the plate, delivering crucial temperature and pressure data, along with further insights into Venus' atmospheric makeup. This was a leap forward in comprehending the extreme conditions on the surface. Then came Venera 8, equipped with gamma-ray analysis capabilities. It allowed us to measure the concentrations of essential elements like potassium, uranium, and thorium on Venus's surface. This data was a cornerstone in understanding the planet's geological composition. Venera 9, a true pioneer, gifted us with the very first images of Venus's surface. These images were not just for scientists. They were shared with the world, allowing everyone to marvel at this celestial wonder. Additionally, more gamma-ray analysis was conducted, deepening our insights. Venera 13 stepped up the game even further. It provided us with not only the first-ever color images of Venus's surface, but also invaluable X-ray fluorescence data. These findings were a treasure trove for scientists, offering a vivid glimpse into the planet's geology. So there you have it, the awe-inspiring scientific findings from the Venera missions. Remember, The quest for knowledge knows no bounds, and who knows what astonishing revelations await us in the future. Until then, keep looking up at the stars.